All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to Queenie's Wednesday Night Live. I made it. I'm a couple minutes late. I was enjoying the joy of lipstick because in a time of masks, I only wear it on Wednesdays practically. Woo! Oh no, somebody's watching me from the other room in the house. If this was a horror movie, the police would be telling me the call is coming from inside the house. The call is coming from inside the house. Anywhooser, welcome to Wednesday Night Live. It's fun till your daddy takes the T-bird away. Boo! And so, how is it going this week? I am pressing buttons on Facebook, thinking I'm trying to wave at you. I'm trying to wave at you people. So another week, another fancy bit of footwork. Hades. Hello, Hades. Hello. Another fancy bit of footwork. Pardon me. Hello, John. Hi, Nita. I am, hi, Betty Boo. Hi, Sophia. I am using my wrist support as an anxiety ball because I was like, okay, well, I came on. I thought about it. I'm like, well, I really should start. I really should start potentially having having outlines of what I'm going to talk about and everything like that to prepare. But basically all I do is put makeup on and lipstick. And you notice I'm in a different room today. I'm in my bedroom today because I decided not to take my laptop, which is the only thing that speaks to the YouTube live camera. Oh my God. And on YouTube live, you can totally, here, let's move this a little bit so that we're not, okay, we either see the closet or we see boxes on my bed. Facebook is a little more discreet. Oh, well, this is what it is. I have, if you're watching YouTube live, I have, Eiffel Tower sheets on my bed. You can see them at the end of the bed. I had no idea that this camera range for the YouTube camera is a lot wider than the phone range. Anyway, you wear elbow support. I hate that. But I understand because I hope there's nothing offensive on that dresser over there. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I hit all the offensive things. And we're not pointing in the right direction for my bedside table. Hey, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. Thank you. If I was on Zoom, I could customize my background. But guess what? I'm not. I'm on FaceCrack and YouTube. So anyway, I thought that I would thank you. I thought that I would get an outline of things to talk about because that way I don't meander and lose people's attention because that's all I want. So I'm here in my room I just happen to have 2 Shoti screens I've collected over the years. I had one and then another one came to me and I forget who I got it from, but I think I got one for $20. I actually bought it. And the other one I got was free. That special price of free. And I can't remember who gave it to me. So, no more news on if I talked about my, had to adjust my pants. If I talked about my fun with car stuff, no more news on that front. I'm pretty much ignoring her at this moment until I hear back from a mechanic, and he says, "Oh, look, I found a really expensive catalytic converter for your old fucking car so that you can get everything taken care of." All right. So, but there is no new news with the cats, except that I think that the longer that shelter in place is on, the more that my cat is going to be needy, and the more problematic it's going to be if I ever have to go back to work 5 days a week and be gone from him. Because when I come home, I only work 2 days on the job site. When I come home, he follows me around and talks to me the whole time and seems very upset. Well, not upset, just like really super needy. Anyway, so I'm not hoping, I don't know that that's going to happen anytime soon, and I'm going to prefer that it doesn't. I really like working from home, and I am now taking my bike and BART. So I am hermetically sealing myself before I leave the house. And see, I lose people. You know, I really should just not look at how many people are watching because it's not accurate, I guess, or, whatever. Anyway, so I hermetically seal myself with gloves and a mask and my bike so that I can take my bike there. And I have to tell you, that is seriously, it's a billion times better than driving the car. I mean, it's a little stressful just because, one, I'm leaving the house. Two, I'm on public transportation amongst people, but it's not, at this moment, it is not even remotely as crowded as it used to be. Like I was on a car and there were maybe a dozen people on a car, all spaced out. I had the spot with the bike. It wasn't like I had to fight to get in or anything, or get out or anything like that, to and from. So it wasn't too bad. And I didn't feel unsafe. Hi, Aunt Debbie. I didn't feel unsafe. So that was really good. And riding my bike first thing in the morning is magical. Even just the 12-minute, even just the 7-minute ride to the BART station is really lovely. But once I get there to Daly City BART, the 1.5 mile ride from the BART station involves a few hills, not too bad a hill, but one pretty steep one that I have to turbo up, but I'm still working really hard with the pedal assist. So that was really good. And I seem to be in a better mood when I'm doing that. So that's very hopeful. I'll be doing that again on Friday. And then, so after that, even yesterday, I got to ride my bike. I went out and I went to the post office in Alameda. I have a tendency to take a ride to the post office, and I go the long way around, either on the way there or on the way back. I could go on the way there. I'll go along Broadway to like South Shore around the back way so I can go by the water. And then on the way back, I go down Santa Clara so I can be by the pretty houses and everything like that. So I just either go those ways, and then there's a street called Pearl, which is more chill than Broadway. So I like to take that. There's generally less glass on the ground, which is problematic with bicycles and bike tires. And it's just fun. And I must have done, I was probably about 8 miles yesterday, and it was only about 3 miles on Monday. But still, I'm already starting to feel better because I was really feeling sluggish. And I'm still working on that kind of stuff. But riding my bike is good, and I highly endorse it. I highly endorse getting an e-bike if you are concerned about whether you can ride or not, or whether you can, go up a hill or have stamina or anything like that. It sure helps, and it gets your body moving, and that There are even bikes that you don't even have to use pedal assist, that are just e-bikes that you can ride, and you don't even have to pedal, but you're outside, you're moving, and you're doing something. So that's really good. But that doesn't mean that it's perfect for everybody, but it is pretty liberating for me. I enjoy it. So that was your advertisement for pedal assist e-bikes on Queenie's live channel. But anyway, so that's part of what's been going on. I have been practicing guitar. Thank you, Hades, with the capo. And I'm teaching myself how to play a couple of new songs. And eventually I will sing them for you. But I am not ready yet. I almost got one to where I think I can do it. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. It's a Nick Cave song. It's one of my favorite ones. So I've almost got that one. I've almost got that one down to where I can kind of recognize it. That's what's amazing. And I was talking about that last week, when you start playing stuff and you can, if you're not necessarily, if you're not somebody who's played instruments all the time, and all of a sudden you're playing this instrument and you can recognize the song you're playing when you play it, and you're the one doing it, it's very empowering, because pretty much my whole existence with music and with bands and stuff like that was I had to rely on other people to play the musical instruments for me. I needed accompaniment all the time, and I needed somebody else to do it all the time. The fact that I can be, that even if it's not perfect, that I can be self-contained in that respect is just as liberating as that bicycle. So it's like, it's great and it's lovely. And this little tiny guitar has like solved everything. Who knew I just needed a little tiny guitar instead of a big guitar? And I wondered why it was always hurt. But I think I said that before. Anyway, so I thought I would tell you a story, if none of you have heard it before, about how my history with cats. I know, it's so exciting. You thought you were going to hear a ghost story. Tough shit. No. Anyway, when I was a little girl, my mom, yeah, music is totally healing. And making it come out of your mouth and come out of your fingers is really great. So when I was a little girl, my dad and one of my half brothers, my dad's son, very, very allergic to cats, like deathly allergic to cats. So they never had cats, but I started out living with my mom, and my grandparents, like, they had a cat. And so from the time I was a toddler, my mom had cats. Well, one cat. I can't remember how long he lived, but he lived a long ass time. And you will have to pardon us for being a little politically incorrect with our cat naming, because I was 3. Okay. So we lived in Seattle for a very, very short period of time. My mom was married to someone for about 6 months, and then she got it annulled because it was a mistake. And anyway, so during that time, our milkman brought us a kitten, a little black cat. And so I'm like 3. Of course I want to keep the cat. Of course my mom wants to keep the cat because it's a cat and she loves them. No, it doesn't run in the family. I swear to God. Anyway, so this is like 1966, probably, because I'm 3. Yeah. So 1966, Seattle, Washington. We live in this apartment complex. 1966, we still had milkmen. Anyway, all I remember about that time period is the cat. And I remember that the guy that my mom was married to used to tickle me until I couldn't breathe and throw me up in the air. And he thought that that was fun. And I just laughed and couldn't breathe and probably smiled just like I do now when I'm pissed off sometimes. So, anyway, the milkman brought us a kitten, and it was a little black kitten, and he asked us if we wanted it, and I guess my mom said yes, or I wanted it. I don't know. But I think my mom said yes. I don't know the particular story, but I do know that she asked me what I wanted to name the cat. And we had just been watching the Ed Sullivan Show, and Sammy Davis Jr. was on the Ed Sullivan Show. And I turned to her and I said, Sammy Davis Jr. Because Sammy Davis Jr. was a cool cat, and that's a cool cat, right? So we named the cat Sammy Davis Jr. My mom, we always called him Sammy, but I always think of him in my head as Sammy Davis Jr., his formal name. Anyway, so he is a really cool cat. And when we decided to pack up, or when Mom decided to pack up and move us to my grandma's, we packed everything up, including the cat, and we drove from Seattle up to Plumas County, California, because my grandparents lived at Lake Almanor in Plumas County, California. And so, interesting. I think I was there for a little while with her, but I can't remember much of that, except that I know that we had the cat there. And Sammy was an indoor-outdoor cat. And pretty soon, I don't think at that time we knew about getting cats fixed. It wasn't a thing. So it was probably very problematic, and there were probably a lot of cats around, except up in the hills where we were, there were only raccoons. So Sammy grew to be a very big-headed black cat. He was like, "Brr, brr. Hi, Brent." And apparently he got along. He was a ladies' man, so he got along with the lady raccoons. But the male raccoons didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. So maybe he was kind of living out Sammy Davis's karma as well. Because I remember that a couple of the women that he was in love with, or at least one in particular, the studios were like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And so he had to cave in and be with, as they would say back then, his own kind, which is horse shit, okay? But it was just how it was back then in those days. It didn't mean it was right. Anyway, but Sammy, the cat, he was having none of that. So he dated all the local lady raccoons and then got in fights with the male raccoons. And sometimes he would get hurt, but he seemed to be fine. And he lived a good long life. So Sammy and I landed in Lake Almanor. And then I think my mom moved to Susanville and went to college there and met someone and was married. I guess that was the third time. Whoop. No, second time technically, because the other one was annulled. Anyway, and she moved down there to Susanville and started going to school. And then she had my brother Guy, who is my half brother from her, and he's a special boy. And anyway, I lived with my grandparents while I was in kindergarten, which was, I guess, while Mom was cooking my brother. And I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that as soon as I saw him, when they decided that I was going to move in with her and my stepdad, that I looked at him and I thought, that's my baby. I went right for him. He was about 6 months old. I decided, that's my baby. So there he was. Anyway, she already had a cat there, another black cat, by the way, that just showed up at the house. Her name was Mama Cat, because it's really creative, right? Anyway, so Mama Cat was at the house, and eventually Mama Cat had some suitors. Again, this is probably 68, not a lot of TNR and fixing going on with the cats. So she had 4 kittens, and an orange cat that kept coming around, and I called him Papa Cat. And he was a big tomcat, but he was kind of friendly. Either that or I could just pet any cat I wanted at that time. I have no idea. Anyway, so then two of those kittens, two of the boys out of that litter, the two boys, a gray and white one that I called Gray Cloud, and then a tabby that was called Gemini because there was Gemini. They were born in June, so they were Gemini twins. I was into that even then. So the two boys went to somebody else. Somebody else's adopted them, but they, again, with no TNR and with no fixing and everything like that, back in 1968, they died of distemper because they didn't get shots or anything like that. So, and we were all like, this was like hippie time, okay? We were all kind of in this big house in Susanville, that like part of a house, the bigger part of a house in Susanville. It's a historic house now. It was like at the corner of Nevada and Roop Street. And so we had all these cats. There was an upstairs. I pretended it was haunted, right? Yay for Gemini. Yay for Gemini's cats. Boo-hoo for Gemini because he didn't make it very long, but they were very cute. And so we kept the girls. And of course, the girls weren't fixed. So within a year of having those girls, one of the local tomcats knocked both of them up. Oh, the other one was it was one of those ones that has the swirls on the side, like looks tabby colored and has the swirls on the side and a kind of a bushy tail. She kind of looked like a cat that I had later when I lived in San Francisco named Mary Lou. But this was Penelope Pitstop. So I named all the cats. Penelope Pitstop, Gemini, like Gem and her, Gemini, and Gray Cloud. I named the cats. So Penelope Pitstop had 7 kittens. Gemini had frickin' a dozen. Like, she had so many kittens. She was big tabby. She grew really big. Anyway, she had so many kittens. I was in heaven. I was so happy. There were so many kittens. Oh! Anyway, so we had to put them in, like, in the upstairs. There was a little way across from the bedrooms that was like a little attic crawl space. And so, yeah, I know I should have named him Dick Dastardly. Dick for short, but I didn't think I wasn't that all up yet. So we had this crawl space, and so we put the kittens, set up the cat beds in there for the kittens and the mamas and stuff. And like in the middle of the night, one night, they traded kittens, like one by one, each kitten, they switched them around because I guess Gemini was tired of nursing all the kittens. Now, she maybe only had 10. I don't know, but it was a lot. We had like 17, almost up to 17 kittens. So that was just too much. And at the time, again, I don't think that people were as much about pets being their little babies as we are now and as we got later as a society or whatever. And it was too many cats. And I now freaking understand. But I don't. So my mom got the bright idea with her friends. Because, now keep in mind, she's only like 20 something, like late 20s, maybe mid to late 20s at this time. Because she was 19 when she had me. And this was like, I was 6, 7 or 8, maybe 8, animal horde territory. Damn right. Anyway, so her and her friends decided, because she was probably talking to them like, fuck, I don't know what to do with these kittens. There's too many. What am I going to do with them? This is just out of control, man. She probably even said it kind of like that, even with the F word, because that's how my mom throws down, Anyway, they were hippies. And, because they were going to college in Northern California, and she had braids and bangs, and yeah, I know. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. But anyway, her her friends and her decided it would be a really good idea to take at a certain age, by when the kittens were kind of weaned, they took the kittens and the two mama cats, right? Yeah, hippie voice. And they took the kittens and the two mama cats and they took them up into the mountains and let them go in the forest. Can you tell that I was very upset? I was very upset. And I think the difference between me when I lived with my mom and me when I lived with my dad and my stepmom was, when I lived with my mom, I engaged in back talk. I engaged in tantrums. I was more empowered. I was a little more empowered when I lived with my mom. So I told her, I said, because Gemini was like my cat. That was my cat. And I told her, I said, my cat's going to come back. Just you wait. You'll see. She's going to come back to me. And I just, gave her one of those. Anyway, so in about, I don't know, 3 weeks to a month, I think, Gemini, that tabby, comes sauntering up to the house. And I picked her up in my arms and I looked at my mom and I said, I told you so. Anyway, so after that, it was just Gemini, Mama Cat, and Papa Cat. And no more kittens were had as far as I could tell. And, but that was and she came back. So I was I was like a cat psychic then. And it kind of freaked my mom out because I don't think she expected that cat to come back. And a month later, that cat came back from wherever up on the mountains they took it. I don't know whatever happened to the other cats. I know Penelope Pitstop was a little skittish, and the rest of them were all little kittens. It just makes me sick to my stomach a little bit. But, my mom was in her 20s. Her friends were all either younger or in their 20s. They didn't know what the hell to do. It was the late 60s. Free love. The cats will find stuff to eat there, They didn't know. But it was a devastating experience to me. So I didn't get to have cats when I moved to my dad and stepmom's house. I didn't get to have cats because my dad and my brother were very, very allergic to them. So we had dogs, and I love dogs too. But those cats, they like me, damn it. And so I always had cats when I lived in San Francisco. And when I moved, I took a cat with me, Mary Lou, to move to Louisiana, where I lived for a couple of years. 3 years, I guess. From 2000 to 2003, I was exiled in DeRidder, Louisiana. And then Mary Lou came back from DeRidder, Louisiana with me, and I brought Jack, who was not Jack from Will and Grace Jack. He was more like Jack Nicholson Jack. He was very self-assured. Mary Lou, not so much, but she was getting really old. So she passed away when she was 17. She stayed with me all that time. She went through my second marriage and a whole bunch of moving until it was finally time for her to go. And Jack lasted until right after we moved here. He got poisoned by something out on the street that he wasn't used to. And I nursed him along from like August to November, the first year that I was here. And we had to finally let him go then. And then I vowed after him, and then we just had Toby. Yeah, he was the coolest cat, Mr. Jack. He would just like look at you, flop down on his back, put his arm back and go, come on. You know you want to. Come on, baby. He would, and for such a like big, like round cat, he had such a baby meow. It'd be like, meow. You didn't expect it to be coming out of his mouth because he just seemed so self-assured, but it was like a little baby meow. Anyway, so I just had Toby, my dog, my Rhodesian Ridgeback Shepherd, who is the dog of my heart. Anyway, and he was with me, and I vowed that I wouldn't get another cat because it was so sad what happened with Jack. And no, I'm not going to get another cat. And then when Toby passed away in 2013, I thought, I'm not going to I don't want another pet. I don't want a cat. I don't want a dog right now. I did think about getting another dog, and I met some dogs, but they weren't the right dogs. And I had another dog for a minute, but she was not the right dog for my household. She bit my neighbor, and thankfully I was able to take her to the Milo Foundation, and they are fantastic. And they found her home with a family and people that could pay attention to her and help her. And she was still alive, like at least 2 years ago, and happy. So that made me feel good because I was terrified that she wouldn't fit in anybody else's household because she had been here and she had kind of been a mess. So fast forward 2015. And this bitch mama cat, no, I'm just kidding, another mama cat shows up in my shed and has 4 kittens. Wasn't sure what I was going to do. Landlord, at once we started noticing that they were there and running around a little bit. The landlord, I don't think he remembers this, but he put food out for them the first time. So we thought it was okay to do. So we started putting out food for them. And I didn't know what to do with a bunch of cats. And I didn't know about, I knew that it was possible I didn't know about TNR. I didn't know anything about all that stuff. I just knew that these were little babies. There were 4 of them. And that I didn't know what to do with them. I ended up throughout 2015 and 2016, I had to learn the hard way as to how to trap cats, how to get them fixed and everything. But I had to learn the hard way because the cat ladies in this area are overrun with cats and there wasn't a lot of resources for it, or not that I knew of. So, and it took me a year and a half and 3 litters to catch that mama cat and shut that baby factory down. And still, all the while, especially the first year, I'm like, no, I don't want another cat inside. I don't want that. But it was inevitable because she had 3 sets. The first 4, one of them passed away. His name was Harry Potter, and we don't know what happened. He just was the landlord found him dead underneath one of his cars one day. Thankfully, it wasn't me because I would have been horrified and traumatized. Anyway, so there were 3, then in a succession, 1 litter. Okay, 3 months later, 2 litter. 3 months later, 4 litter. So a total of 13 cats. Now we are down to 5 in the backyard, 2 inside. So this is why I call myself a reluctant cat lady. Yes, I'm a cat lady. I did not seek out these cats. I did not, as usually happens, if you've been part of the group, my house but not my cat, they just fucking show up. They show up. They do. We've got another one out there that's just showed up. I mean, of course, it's because he gets dinner. But, I just don't have the heart to turn him away. And I don't have, after all the work that I had to put in for the other cats and fixing them and everything like that, I feel bad, but I don't have the bandwidth to take on another let's trap and fix operation with so many in the back, with 5, 4 or 5 in the backyard that are always there all the time. it's just too much to try and separate one. I don't know. I don't have any place I can secure the rest of them so I can trap that one. Anyway, that's what made me a cat lady. That's crazy. That was a big long story, but that's my history with cats. And I mean, I love them. I love Bowie, and I love Calico Bunny, and I love all of them. And I'm kind of weird because I feel like they tell me their names, and some of them have normal names for themselves, and other ones have really weird names for themselves, like Pink Nose Supermodel. That might have been just something I made up, and he just liked it and just never told me any different. So not only do I do readings for people, I have done animal readings as well. My friend Sean, I have done readings for all his pets. He has some birds. He had a couple pigeons, a dove, I think, and doggies. So I've done that. I don't know how. I think they ended up being really good because they didn't know that they rescued, all of them were rescues, and so they kind of wanted to know what sort of history they had. And I may not have been able to completely tell them what sort of history they had, but I could tell what kind of personality they might have and different triggers and stuff like that. They had one bird that was tearing out his feathers, and part of the reason he was tearing out his feathers is because PG&E installed a smart meter outside their house, and his cage was right by there. And the frequency, there was a sound that was causing him a lot of anxiety. And I suggested that he put a white noise machine or a fan or something in between the wall of the house where the smart meter was and the bird cage, and it seemed to help him. So that's good. So I must get something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the cat story. And but that's a long, convoluted cat story that involves my different moves and my history with my parents, which is, which, you know, everybody has history with their parents, and it's very interesting. So, you know, my mom didn't know any better. You know, she still has cats. She did have 3. One of them passed away, Pearl, I think. But Denali, and I think she has another one, Yin, maybe Yin passed away and Pearl is still there. I don't. Anyway, so she still has 2 cats, and I don't think there'll be a time in her life where she doesn't have cats. And Denali, her cat is like a Persian or something, has this different kind of fur than mine. I am so allergic to that cat. It's so weird. I'm never allergic to cats, not that I knew of, but this particular one, I think it's like Siamese or something like, or some sort of creamsicle colored kind of different haired kind of cat. I couldn't even breathe. I was at her house. It was really weird. Highly unexpected. So let's see. I had been telling you that I had been practicing guitar, so I hadn't really practiced any karaoke songs. But so there's the cat story. I have been watching a lot of ghost stories because I always do. Not necessarily ghost adventures, but on Amazon Prime, there is, for those of you Bay Area people that are curious about ghosty things and haunted things in the Bay Area, there is now up on Amazon Prime, Haunted Bay. And it follows the Alameda Paranormal Society when they go searching different locations, haunted locations in the Bay Area. And it's, I mean, if you like that sort of thing, it's really, really interesting. And I thought it was cool because the lady that used to do my hair is, and my friend is in some of the episodes because she had done some ghost hunting with them. So they also have mediums on there. And okay, so here's what it's a way, it's not a way that I keep score, but it's a way that I kind of validate that I can sense things. And so sometimes when there's a medium on, I get curious about like how they perceive something. and how I've perceived something, especially if it's someplace that I've been before. So with those, and with there's a mansion in Memphis, Tennessee, downtown on Beale Street. I think it's the Meek or something like that. Anyway, I stayed there years ago and had some experiences there. And I wanted to see if the story synced up with what I had experienced, because, and I have a lot of boundaries set about these things. Like, I don't want to be haunted, like scare me haunted. If you want to come to me in a dream and tell me your story, that's really great. So I kind of, when I was staying there, I kind of set boundaries. And I did have a dream about someone, and he told me his story, and it seems to coincide with what I found out later about the location and when the Spanish flu went through, and how, no, it was yellow fever, when yellow fever went through, and how the family all moved themselves someplace else and supposedly hid some treasure in the yard, some of their belongings, expensive stuff in the yard. And one of the caretakers supposedly is seen, and a lot of their slaves at the time, or servants at the time, I think that they were supposedly free, but they were still kind of indentured servants. Anyway, a lot of them died of yellow fever. And the person who came to me in the dream was talking about how he died, but the girl that he was in love with died first. Anyway, so that was really interesting. And so these places in the Bay Area, some of them I've been to before, and some of them I just sensed stuff, because people talk to me about the Hornet a lot, and I haven't checked that out, and I haven't ever been to it. People have talked to me about, where have I been? What was the one that I was at? Oh, Alameda Eagles Hall. I was there a couple years ago to do readings, and I had there was an event there, and I was in the corner doing readings, and there were vendors set up and everything like that. And I didn't have very many clients. It just wasn't the right event for me. So I had a lot of time, and a girl that I know from there came up and asked me if I wanted a tour. And she was talking to me and asked me if I sensed anything there, because apparently it's haunted. So I said that I sensed like an old man, and that I sensed somebody really mischievous, like that, like to look at the girls when they're in the bathroom and flicker lights and stuff like that. And anyway, they went to that location, and that was a little bit confirmed, but there's more there. So I'm finding that I don't notice the negative entities or negative influences. I only notice, mischievous ones, or ones that might need help, or ones that might be sad, or whatever. I don't seem to get those, which makes sense, because generally when I'm reading for a client, I get the messages that I get are supposed to be more empowering, more like, they're like truth darts and warm fuzzies that back them up. And if somebody who was dear and departed came through, is because they had some sort of message that was going to enrich the person's life, or give them validation, or confirm something for them, or cause healing, or cause a shift. That's generally, because it doesn't happen all the time. It only happens once in a great while, or once in a while. And so it was funny, because I saw there was somebody there. She showed me the big picture that they show in the downstairs of all the members, this old picture of all the members, and she showed me the top hat guy, and I'm like, well, I don't know if that's the guy. He looks kind of mischievous, but he doesn't seem like the guy. There's somebody else that is more funny. Anyway, so I was watching those Bay Area hauntings or something on Amazon Prime, and I'm like, oh my God, these are all these local places. They went to these places at Barbary Coast, like North Beach, all around there. And it was funny. I'm like, hey, I've ridden my bike around there. Hey, that's where my sweetie and I took a walk. You know. And the Warfield was pretty compelling. I highly recommend watching them. If you like those ghost hunting shows, it's kind of cool. And they always have a medium come in, at a separate time. And it's pretty cool. Anyway, I like those shows. It's entertaining to me. It doesn't make me scared because I just I set boundaries. I've always been better at setting boundaries in spirit than I am with people. I'm a lot better now with people, but before it was not good. Anyway, I love that you guys are here watching. I'm very happy that you are. I hope you enjoyed my cat story, my cat tale. Anyway, I know sometimes I crack myself up. No, all the time. I was telling my roommate today that she probably thinks I'm weird because I talk myself through stuff all the time. Like, she probably hears me through the bathroom door when I'm going to the bathroom, and I'm like, okay, I need to do this, and then next I need to do that, and then this, and I talk myself through things all the time, and it's I've been staying home so much that it's translated out into the world. Like, I'm in the grocery store talking myself through stuff. I'm riding my bike talking myself through lists and things that I need to do and everything like that. And wow, I feel so lit because Soul Sister is right, Heather. Through the window, I'm starting to. It's almost like I put Vaseline on the lens, right? No, okay. Lord knows I may have to start doing that. I know. Yeah, she does just say, "Are you talking to me?" I don't know. So I wanted to take song requests, but nobody contributes. So I'm just going to force you to listen to something that I want to sing. So let me get my little tablet and find some karaoke for all up in here. Let's see. I feel that I should shut this curtain because I'm getting blinded. I'm getting blinded by the light. No, I'm not going to do that one because I don't even know what I don't even know what those words are. Blinded by the light. What's this? What's happening? Oh, there. Okay, leave this. All right, guys. I think I added some things to my karaoke list that maybe will be okay. I won't say good because that's kind of weird. That's kind of braggadocio. All right. Where is the karaoke songs? All right. I know I did Moon River the first time because it was Wendy's fault. Now I'm going to... I've done that. You guys, I've done so many of these. No, that's not what I want. Oh, Lord. I wonder if I can do it. Well, it just magically came up. So I'm going to do a Goo Goo Dolls song, except I don't know what's happening there. Let's see. Oh my gosh, they just do this every freaking time. You have to start over. I know this is just your favorite part where I'm looking down with all my chins and I'm trying to find a song to sing. There's Elvis. Oh, there it is. I wonder if I have... Okay. How about this one? Hold on. Let's see. This sounds weird. Whatever. Let's hope it works. Let's hope the lyrics are on here. You recognize it? It's by Queenie. I walked across an empty land. I knew the pathway like the back of my hand. Felt the earth beneath my feet. Sat by the river and it made me complete. Oh, sympathy, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. Came across a fallen tree. I felt the branches of it looking at me. Is this the place we used to love? Is this the place that I've been dreaming of? Oh, simple thing, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. And if you have a minute, why don't we go talk about it somewhere only we know? This could be the end of everything, so why don't we go somewhere only we know? Somewhere only we know. Oh, sympathy, where have you gone? I'm getting old and I need something to rely on. So tell me when you're gonna let me in. I'm getting tired and I need somewhere to begin. And if you have a minute, why don't we go talk about it somewhere only we know? This could be the end of everything, so why don't we go? So why don't we go? This could be the end of everything, so why don't we go somewhere only we know? Somewhere only we know. Somewhere only we know. Well, that was kind of fun. Was it kind of fun? It was pretty. I remember when I tried it, when I was messing around with karaoke, I wasn't sure that I knew, because the phrasing, there's extra words at the end of some of them that kind of, do that. But we have, I'm going to do another one because, it's not enough to just sing one. And I'm hoping my throat will cooperate. All right. Who's next? Ooh, don't tip up. I have been spilling stuff and really feeling clumsy lately. But Too bad. Okay. Oh, I can't do that one. Well, I could do that one. I'm looking at some Beatles ones. Maybe I have some more Beatles ones towards the end. I don't think so. But let's see what else. Let's see what other random one that I came up with. I'm collecting them for you, you know? Thank you, John. Okay. I wonder if I can do this. I'm going to try this one. I may brutalize it, but let's try it. And then I won't torture you anymore. This is Goo Goo Dolls, Iris. This was my favorite song back then. And I give up forever to touch you, sorry. 'Cause I know that you feel me somehow. You're the closest to heaven that I'll ever be. And I don't want to go home right now. And all I can taste is this moment. And all I can breathe is your life. When sooner or later it's over, I just don't want to miss you tonight. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. I may not have verses very well, but I'm going to do it anyway. And you can't fight the tears that ain't coming, or the moment of truth in your life. When everything feels like a movie, yeah, you bleed just to know you're alive. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. And I don't want the world to see me, 'cause I don't think that they'd understand. When everything's made to be broken, I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. I just want you to know who I am. So there's two kind of sad but pretty songs, which is kind of asymptomatic of the kind of songs that I love. You thought that I was just all B-52s and Devo all up in here, but no, I really like some of the really sad ones very much. I want to thank you guys for being here, and thank you guys for listening to me, and hope you enjoyed the stories and the songs, and I will be back next week with more. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I hope you're all hanging in there. Weird fucking times, people. So let's just hang on to the good stuff when we can. Thank you, Stephen. I love singing. If you look at it astrologically, apparently it's because I've got, I don't know, Taurus moon or something in the 9th house. I don't know. I was told I would have a good speaking and singing voice, but then I just had to prove it. Anyway, I love you guys. Please have a good week. I will see you next Wednesday. I will think of other topics to talk about, and we'll connect again. Hang in there. Good night, Aunt Debbie. Good night, everybody. Oh, thanks, Teresa. Have a good night. I hope everybody has a good week. Bye. Bye, YouTube.